Hello, YouTube. Wanted to share with you guys today my first kayak that I've got into kayak fishing recently. Um, really getting a kayak ready for the Outer Banks for the Bayside, and I've been using it in freshwater, just getting used to it. This is a Future Beach 126 fishing kayak. And I have to say, for 350 bucks, it's a great entry level kayak. Wanted to share with you some of the accessories that I put on it to get it ready, really kind of for a full functioning fishing kayak. So I guess I'll start with probably the front console here. Uh, I've installed a fishing rod holder, which comes in very handy. Scotty fishing rod holder. I've also installed a Lowrance Mark IV fish finder that includes, it's got dual scan imaging, gives you a great contour of the bottom of whatever structure you're fishing, and then also has a built-in GPS, which I think is important. You're out there, especially in the bay side of the Outer Banks or bay side of anywhere, big bodies of water, so you don't end up getting turned around in terms of where you're going. Comes standard with a little tackle box there, which is perfect because I only take I typically take just two rods with me when I go out fishing. I don't really have a need for a bunch of rod and a whole bunch of tackle, so that works out perfect. Um, Now, what comes standard with the boat, with the kayak, sorry, is two of these flush mount rod holders. One here, I actually use this one to store an anchor, and then the other one here comes standard. I've included a third anchor. A third rod holder here, which I installed, and this is primarily going to be used for the safety flag that slides right in there for when I'm out in big bodies of water. So folks can actually see where I'm going. So you've got a rear hatch here. This just opens up to the bottom for storage. And then you've got the front the front hatch area here. This is actually sealed, and I use this for the battery. And just to show you, I've got see if I can peel this back here. I've got a battery installed here. Basically, I took a standard storage. This is actually a lunchbox. I actually cut it down a little bit to store a, um, a battery, and that is a Chrome 12 volt battery for the Lowrance fish finder and GPS, and fits in there quite nicely. It's not too big, and so I just installed this, sealed it up, and got the wires going from, obviously, from this hatch over to the fish finder right here. Now, the one tricky part with this is basically, where do you put the transducer for the where do you put the transducer for the fish finder? And there's two schools of thought with this. One is you can put it inside the kayak and install it in to the bottom of the hull. The downside with that is you don't get full resolution on your scanning, but that's okay. Part of that too is you, you do get degradation of quality with the scan associated with installing it inside the hull. Also, you got to mount it with silicone, and sometimes the silicone has a tendency to not stick, and it breaks and then it comes off. So what I decided to do after doing a little bit of research is install the transducer on the outside of the kayak. I saw a couple articles where folks have done this, and this worked out really well. You can see the transducer on this is fairly large, and so I installed it on the outside here. And what I did is basically created a mount out of 28 gauge, what am I trying to say? Sheet metal. Sheet metal, painted it green, so just aesthetically it looks pretty cool. Got these two holes up here. I mounted it, and I actually mounted the transducer to the sheet metal, not to the hull. And I just secured it with a bolt. I don't know if you can see that. There's a bolt there that I secured it with one bolt. Got it all sealed up, took it out several times, no leaks, and then you can see the transducer cord runs into here. I drilled a hole in here and then put rubber grommets in there and sealed it up with marine goop, and it's actually super secure. So this worked out really well. The only other item I added on this was a anchor trolley system, what you see right here from Yak, and I can tell you what, this comes in really handy. I used it yesterday, just trying it out with the anchor, and really comes in handy to reposition the boat based on wind conditions. So I would highly recommend a anchor trolley if you guys are gonna go out there and do some, bait fishing or still fishing or whatever. Um, and then other than that, I just added some cool stickers to it, and I also added just one more thing. Added these cleats. This is to hold the anchor in place, obviously, when you deploy the anchor. This other cleat up here is used for my bait bucket. If I take a bait bucket with me, I can throw it over the side and just secure it. Um, but like I said, other than that, it's a great starter kayak. I'm looking forward to getting it out to the Outer Banks. And if you guys want to have me do another video and talk about exactly how to mount that transducer on the outside, I'd be happy to do it. Oh, one more item that I would encourage you guys to do is get a paddle holder on the side here. This comes in handy when you want to when you're storing your kayak and you want to have the paddle kind of secure, and then also when you're out fishing, if you want to have the paddle secured so you can have your hands free. To do whatever you're doing there with fishing, so that came in handy as well. But like I said, this is a dynamite entry-level kayak. I got it pretty much the way I want it. Got everything on it I need to go out and do some fishing and freshwater, and looking forward to getting out in the Outer Banks with it. Okay, thanks everybody.